slight Cheeky and Tukay working through that thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give me affection, masculine, feminine. Because what I heard mainly from Jeff is there's a way to be masculine and do a thing, right? To be protective. There's a feminine way to be protective, right?
Yes.
And so that's why we don't need a monopoly over a thing, because masculinity shows up in a particular way, femininity shows up in a particular way, given the category. So what would affection look like? Masculine from the father, feminine from the mom.
Feminine, even though it can be used to protect one's emotions, but it is a feminine tool.
Can I give you an example, Hal?
I got, but I just want to, just one point of clarification here, because maybe the question you asked me, when you said monopoly, right? I was thinking task, and that's what it sounded like was happening now. Tasks or expressions. That's why my answer was no, because there's no monopoly on the expression. I understand what Jeff said. I think he made a really good point. As I'm a man, so because you kind of made this point too, help on the show. I'm a man, therefore I'm masculine, right? A woman can't be masculine because she's a woman, but she can express masculine. She can perform masculine expressions. That's why my answer was no, because there's not a monopoly because of the expression part.
Sha, your answer was good, right?
Okay,
because
I was just okay.
Jeff may have had what he already said prepared, but to me, you saying no, and then him saying what I heard in terms of masculine way to do, feminine way to do, those things align to me.
Okay.
Yeah, so Jeff, and I think that's like the key part. We don't like the thing that I think we ignored from the answer that he gave was the acknowledgement of the biological factor, right? Like that would be the foundation of the argument if you're going to say that there's a difference between masculinity and femininity, which is my point. None of men or women don't have a monopolization on any expression of emotion, feeling, or anything that was named. Even with Aaron, if a child cries, like whether it be a boy child or a female child. What I've realized or what I've noticed just from how human beings work is a lot of the things that we say is natural is actually nurtured because of how we view a certain expression of masculinity. For example, if Rock cries in DJ Ham house, that's a little bit different than Chuck. Chuck, stop crying. Rock, keep crying. Why? Right? If you don't correct that behavior, they're going to just do what they think is natural. It's up to you as the individual to curtail and nurture masculinity in the way that you understand it from a cultural or historical context, whatever approach you want to take, given your background and understanding. That's what I'm
okay. Okay.
I kind of don't agree with what you were saying, Banter, because like if you think about it, like there's a monopoly on crime for femininity. All right. And if you are a man,
could you say it again? You said on crime? What'd you say?
No, on crying, like tears.
Oh, crying. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's a monopoly on femininity for crying. And if a man cry in front of a woman, then he get demoted to a quote unquote bitch. So that's only really reserved for a woman or for a feminine trait. You might say I can cry, but that don't mean that that's going to be your first resort, because you know you'll be demoted in society for that. So essentially, if a woman can demote you for crying, then they do have a monopoly on it because they choose the outcome when you cry.
So I would disagree with that. I don't think, and I think rationally, right? This is not a man or woman thing. If you see anybody crying without a reason, you're going to think something's wrong with them. Just something's wrong. I don't think women are going to demote you from crying if your father died or your kid died.
If I see a man cry, I'm disgusted.
Okay, well but just deal with what I just said. I think that there are moments. Right,
he is dealing with it. Here's why. Because Jeff, I see Jeff across the street crying, right? I say, what he crying for? Right? I see Jeffetta across the street. Damn, I wonder why she crying. Yeah, like we don't even look at it the same. You know what I mean?
So okay, well but you saying for you, if I see a man crying out out in the open, I'm gonna think like some
I
shit
nodded
really
that
happened.
too. No way.
Listen, even if you are like, hold on. So listen, Banner, it's
Like
so
something
bad.
really happened. If this nigga crying out in the open,
Banner,
we need to be on the lookout. He got a gun.
let me show you the monopoly, Banner. If you were to go over there and comfort the man that was crying, I see you give him a hug. I'm gonna say, damn, it's two bitches over there. They got a monopoly on. There's a monopoly on crying that's reserved strictly for women, bro.
No. Go ahead, Jeff, and we got to get Mr. White back.
Yeah, man, this is hilarious. I was going to say in regards to banter and understanding 2K's perspective about the sociological viewpoint of how these behaviors are interpreted, right? My issue is, I think with banter, and maybe if there's any misalignment with maybe the two of us, this is a discussion about the debate about nature versus nurture, right? And it's sounding like, based on how you're describing it, you're putting more stock in things being nurtured and less stock in some of these things being nature. And that makes sense. That would make sense then if you're concluding that it's not just that we can do the same things, it's the consequential component. Like for me, that's why I add almost the component of like you arguing. If there's a biological part that impacts how things are interpreted, how it's even expressed, a lot more weight has to be placed in the nature part to explain why something is or isn't acceptable, if that makes sense. Now for me, I don't care what people ratio is. Some people, it could be 70, 25, 50, 50. I don't care. It's more so that typically when people have these engage in these conversations, they're only fluctuating between nature and nurture with what their argument is. And the more they're leaning on one side, the more they're going to potentially, maybe knowingly or unknowingly, kind of minimize the other side. So when people be like, oh, she could do it, I could do it, it's only society that views it that way. Okay, well, then you're damn near 100% on the nurture side. But if you're kind of more weight in, it also means something when she does it versus when I do it. It may not simply be just because I feel like it's different. It could actually be different because we literally are different.
Right. So, and I would agree because it's going to be circumstance by circumstance. Yep. Right. We hear a lot that women view men a certain way after they see them crying, but then we also will hear from a multitude of men. Men will have be interviewed being like, I cried in front of my wife before and she actually consoled me. And you got people like 2K. I cried in front of my wife. I gotta kill her because she think I'm a bitch. I gotta kill her. It's like it's different. Like, and so this is and here's the thing. I can't discredit what he's saying because I know it's true because I've seen that, but I can't discredit what the other man is saying because I know it's true because I've seen that, right? Mm-hmm. So now we're at this is where the standstill is here, where it's like, okay, if we're determining masculinity and femininity by a biological imperative or whatever the case may be, cool. But now now that we've gotten past that point, how do we get into the nuance of reactions that we see from both men and women that doesn't necessarily fit that biological imperative that we say that we know exists?
You would do that by divorcing the fact that we have a trademark on masculinity, but not a copyright. People can use masculinity, but they can't claim to be its progenitor, right? That's what a monopoly, the absolute of being a monopoly, is tied up in the fact that masculinity is something that everything about it is developed from the existence of man. Now, can women adopt these traits and behaviors and things like that? Absolutely. And the converse is the same with femininity. But you have to, in order to answer the question you're asking, you have to divorce yourself from the absolute of being the progenitor of something from being the user of it. And then whoever uses it, that's how you can make that distinction.
So now that that's been said,
I want to make sure I want to get Mr. White in, and then y'all can get back to it. I just want to make sure, Mr. White, is anything you wanted to add as of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I was thinking, because was it Tukay? My bad if I
mispronounce your name. I'll get you back later.
But yeah, like when he said, if I see a man crying, I'm gonna think, what this bitch crying for, right? There was a time when I thought the same way, but now based on my profession and working with so many different men, When I see a man cry, instantly, like my heart is hurting because I know it must be something serious that he's kind of going through.
Yep.
And so to that point, I'm thinking when we look at masculine and femininity, maybe we only could base it off of biologically, because anything else, then it just gets too separate. Right, because of our own experiences, we're gonna start adding things. It's almost like it's so many different worlds and different views that we have to just keep it basic to. You got to have a dick to be masculine. You got to have a vagina to be feminine, and I think that's it.
But think about the level that you are. All right, people pay to become a female in private because you're a licensed psychologist, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I knew it was clinical license, something like that. But people pay to come get a couple tears out because they know that women own the femininity, and you the only person that they can come and share some tears with, and you won't tell nobody because they paid you, and by law you can't. That's the only reason why they still own that right, just like we own the right to pure aggression. Like. Now you
right, but think about it though, right? Because as men, we cry. So is that really negatively impacting us by giving them that monopoly on it? You see what I'm saying? I got to pay somebody to come do it here because holding it in out here, like we literally kill ourselves because of the weight. Like we really not built to hold on to things that we really hold on to.
I despise tears, bro. Like literally, because I'm super serious. The time that spent crying is time that I'm taking away from figuring out the solution. I hate when my kids cry. I hate when my wife cry. Why are you crying? We could be getting to the solution while you wiping tears off your cheeks.
So how else do you express sadness then? Like, what's an appropriate way to be sad, or is that an emotion we just should not experience?
I just think through it while I'm trying to find a solution. When I'm at work, I'm thinking through the sadness. Sadness is a 90-second rule, okay? And every 90 seconds, your brain is recharging and remembering to be sad because that's what you want to be. You want to feel sorry for yourself, so the brain gonna help you out. Like I think y'all, like I understand your profession, but for the most part, y'all be over there selling hope and not the truth. Tell that nigga to get over it and and keep it moving, bro.
Hold on, you been watching my content when you saying that?
No, not problem. This me. This freak out.
Well, okay.
And another freak out. Why I look like bound on off-white, South white underbelly with that background.
Hey, because I'm trying to look professional.
No, you look like a pimp. Like
I ain't rich enough to be 2K. 2K got a moving. What is that? You got shit I ain't never seen, my nigga. Help me out, brother.
That's crazy.
I really do think that y'all been selling hope for the longest and not the solution.
So how? Like, how does a therapist sell hope? Because a lot of people speak on it and they haven't even been in therapy, and there's so many different therapists that have so many different.
I went once, okay? I went once. Okay? I had to go for court, so I looked like I was doing something. So when I was in there, bro, they had no solutions to nothing. It's like, hey, I see you next week. Like, no, what? Where's the solution? And everybody I know that go to therapy have to come back next week, and next week, and next week, and next week. I have never heard nobody go to therapy and come out the other side fixed.
Interesting.
Nobody. Well, you stringing your customers along, Mr. White. Be honest.
Nah, the majority, well, it does fluctuate, but I'll say within the past 6 months, the majority of my clients have been doing like well. Like it's hard to let some of them go or to even push some of them out. Like, hey, you kind of don't need me no more. So that does happen. But the majority of our job is not to give you the answers.
Hey, you ever search for a new issue to keep them there?
No, we literally start off, hey, what's kind of going on? What are your issues? What are your goals? We make sure that they're measurable, and then we walk through the goals to help you reach your goals. If I can't help you, hey, I'm not the right fit for you. You need to try something else. I'm not going to just keep meeting with you just to take, your money.
So you're not one size fix all?
Nah, absolutely not. I know I'm not for everybody at all. Like I don't do that well with kids. I mostly do well with men who are in transition. So like divorce, becoming a new father, new job, lost job. Like those are the areas that I kind of specialize in. And a lot of it's because I dealt with it personally as well too. I
You
just
do
also have the
divorce?
skill set to help them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was divorced and now I'm
Okay,
remarried.
yeah, I need a card, bro. I need to come holler.
Sorry.
My shit on the road right now.
Okay, I was going to say, 2K, two things I was thinking about when you said that, you went to therapy once. That happens with a lot of people, man. And I understand first that perspective. And I think what happens is people go in, they have a bad experience, or they see somebody who's gone a long time and their perception is like, that's therapy and that's all therapists. The reality is like it's a very eclectic, diverse field of different orientations. You got solution oriented therapists, right? You got people who, like, that's literally what I'm do prolonged exposure. All we focus on is addressing your trauma to decrease your PTSD symptoms to get you back out there. So, and my starting statement with every person that comes in is, my job is for you to not need me anymore, and for me to lose this job with you. So if you're meeting with me too long, there's a problem. And what you're not distinguishing is ethical therapists versus non-ethical therapists.
I feel like
go ahead.
The solution to a lot of problems, man, and this might sound unethical because y'all are professionals. I feel like busting a nut, bro. Like, after you do that, shit is okay. Like, I don't give a fuck what you going through after you bust that nut.
So,
like, it's done.
So I want us to pay attention real quick. I want us to pay attention to what's going on, right? Like, this is part of masculinity as well. It's definitely more simplified and more like, I know what it is, and then there's other aspects that's that's more like, okay, what more? There's more depth to it. Not to say 2K is shallow or anything, but 2K straightforward. 2K is, he already explained himself. When I seen that clip of we need to bring Spankers back, I was like, that nigga from the 50s. I know him. And it's okay for him to be there as long as he abide by the laws, rules, so he don't go to jail. You know what I'm saying? We want our brother free, but that's part of masculinity. So now the question is, because if we have this expression in such a wide range, now how do we determine what's more masculine and what's too feminine, and who's not? Is Prince a woman because he do what he did, or Michael Jackson? No, they still men and they still masculine. It's just on some spectrum, and we're trying to figure that. That's the conversation, is trying to figure that out. Like, where though? Where the hell are you at? Because nigga, nobody wear his but you. And then we know 2K is, nigga, if you don't take them heels, I'm gonna beat your ass.
I don't do strong arm no more.
I think the answer to that if I think you back up in the conversation when Mr. White was saying that people need to cry. You can't live with all that pressure. It's debilitating. I think what we need to discuss is catharsis. What's a masculine way of seeking catharsis, and what's a feminine way of seeking catharsis? Crying. All right. So the body's got all these different hormones. Crying is an indication of there's some cortisol, there's some adrenaline. These are adjutant, right? They're excitants, same as testosterone. So busting a nut reduces one of them. It brings you kind of back down. There's a cathartic result that happens out of reducing your hormonal inflammation, right? Right. But another thing is catharsis for men, because part of masculinity is productivity. We are very solution oriented. Getting straight to the solution process brings us comfort. We don't need to cry about it, whereas women may need to cry about it to balance their hormones. They're much more hormonally sophisticated. They have 4 hormonal cycles in a month. We have 1 in a day. Their shit's topsy-turvy. So in order to quiet that down, you might even have to have a conversation that triggers tears in a woman so that you can release that, just like a man busting a nut releases testosterone. But cathartically, I think a masculine way of catharsis is getting right to the solution.
Now, Ice Man, think about this now. You just gave us all this biology lesson, right? And then no, that's what it was. And good shit, bro. I learned something. So you said you just gave us the men way of finding it, and then you gave us the women. Like, women are supposed to cry, help them with their catharsis.
Yeah.
So if you see a man crying, you know it's not even being effective. Like, your body not built like that. You literally just told us that it really has no solution for solving a problem for a man. He just crying because he think that he's a woman, basically.
So yeah, no.
You literally just said that, right or wrong?
No. I see what you're saying, and it would sound like that. But pressure can become too much, whether it's masculine, whether it manifests as masculine or feminine. And then a man can even be moved to tears, and that's because he's run out of his ability to seek catharsis using masculine measures. Now it bleeds over into using feminine measures because he's run out of masculine gas. The problem is still here. All the masculinity world hasn't solved it.
So listen,
that's what women do when they become masculine, is because their femininity ran out of gas, and now they got to start using this.
So you
that's
telling me
toxicity comes in.
They have the power of reverse. So a man, his natural habitat to paying rent is to go and work for it. So you mean to tell me if he can't get the money by working for it, he then reverse into what a woman would do, so he'll lay on his back to get the money? Is that what you by that logic you just gave me?
No. Again, I think that's an oversimplification. But what you're describing is giving up, and yes, I think men are capable of giving up.
Giving up is feminine.
Yeah, hand back.
Giving up is feminine. Yes.
No, it's not. It's just loser shit.
Yeah.
You know what another word for giving up is?
You haven't heard that much.
Wait, there's another word for giving up. Yielding.
That means you slow down.
So I'm listening to kind of the transitions, and I guess I'm wondering, and this happens all the time, right? You get around men and everyone starts to kind of give you their interpretation, expression of masculinity, which is okay. But then I think what could get problematic for me is then we start doing, so like let's use crying. So once a man starts crying, he leaves the realm of masculinity. Yeah. That's what it seems like is being said, but I don't think that's actually what y'all mean.
That's what's being said.
Right, that's what's being said. When you start crying, you become feminine. But then in the beginning, we saying no, that's not how it works. If I'm a man, I'm masculine.
So Tukay and Banter kind of said it's more contextual, right? So I'll give an example real quick, and then everybody else can respond to this. I had a teenager when he had a drug and alcohol program, and I believe he was like 16. Basically what happened, man, was he started smoking as a result of being told, his mother getting a call from the police stating that his brother had been shot. And he was 14 at the time, and he and his mother flew over to West Philly to the home, and they saw that his brother was sitting out on the porch on the steps, and the whole street was blocked off, and people were crowded everywhere. And the kid made it through the crowd and ran to the porch, and half his brother's head was gone. And how much time is he allowed to cry about that? And before we're going to say he's not masculine, I think
you say he was a boy though, right?
Regardless, what I'm actually getting at, because repressed emotions and thoughts can result in physiological negative effects, high blood pressure, strokes, heart attacks. So the issue is, I agree with you, 2K, is that men can't stay there. And I think what happens is when we tell men what they cannot do emotionally, that's actually normal. It's normal in the sense that they can't express it. It's not normal that they stay there and keep expressing it indefinitely. They get it, they address it, they feel it, and then how do I move on? How do I heal? How do I build? How do I grow from this? What happens with men and in the women that go to therapy indefinitely is they stay there. So allowing men to acknowledge when they're angry, when they're bitter, when they're grieving, not having a space in their real life around women or other men, coming into therapy where they can at least get it out, show themselves, not be judged, and then be like, all right, now that that's over, now how do I pick up the pieces from this divorce? How do I pick up because what happens is when men repress that, that's why we had the self-deletion rates that we do. So you can't have it both ways where we say, we treat this like a black and white issue. And what I'm arguing is the people who do this for a living, if they're really good at it, they'll know how to recognize and acknowledge what needs to be acknowledged and felt and expressed. But then also, depending on if they're a child or an adult, if they're a man or a woman, and how expressive their masculinity or femininity is, you're actually conforming it and modeling it to the person in front of you, if that makes sense. So no, it's not like, again, there are therapists, men and women, that like to coddle people the whole time. They suck. But then there's actual therapists like Mr. White, myself, and others, psychologists included, where we're matching, it's a different approach because you have a level of understanding of constantly trying to have a cultural competency surrounded. Like, I know a black man and a white man is probably going to need some slight nuanced differences from me. A young black man versus an older black man is going to need something. There's been men who will work themselves into a grave because they're listening to advice like that, like men don't cry. And then as soon as you retire, you die a week later.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. DJ HAMP about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat. And to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real. Well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats to back the facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky. I hope you know. This might be risky. Let's go, let's go. This might be risky. No, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ HAMP, it's time to start the show.